Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a podcast tonight. We're back with In Response To, and it's been a long time since we've done a Magic podcast, and we kind of hyped it up a little bit on Modern Magic Mondays a little while ago, and we were introducing some of the new faces here. But of course, I'm joined with Farm Zernar, Real M&M, and Mootarn. So, how you doing, guys?
Great.
Good.
Everyone, speak at once. Ready, go.
Excited for some Modern Masters 2017.
Oh, all the hype. Like, the set is amazing, and I love how all the shops and all the online orders initially were like, oh, the set sucks. You know what? We're going to lowball the pre-orders, get rid of this set. We don't want anything to do with it. And then they started spoiling stuff, and everyone was like, oh my god, jack the prices up, quick.
Oh yeah, there was plenty of people doomsaying how bad the set was and how terrible it looked and the worst EV ever. And then a week later, the same people are saying, "Oh, it's going to be the best set ever." So
Actually, didn't see anyone say it was going to be bad. I didn't start paying attention right away, but I haven't actually seen anyone saying anything negative about it, so it's interesting.
Yeah, initially, I guess, because it was very hush-hush, and like pre-orders started coming out and stuff like that, and a lot of like the online realtors and stuff like that were selling boxes for like 180.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Okay.
like that, like so much that they're like, yeah, get like, pretty much that was the consensus amongst the investors and the people, purchasing it in shops like that, because Wizards was very hush hush about all the cards in it, and nobody was really talking about it, so it's just kind of snuck in. All right, you guys, here's the box for it. We can start pre-ordering now. And then it was just like, all right, sprinkling of some cards at first, and then pretty much as soon as they announced fetch lands, that was the big turning point, because they announced them beginning in the week and not at the end when all the other good stuff was coming out too. So
Yeah. I feel like I would have wanted to wait a little bit, just like at the bigger moment, but whatever.
yeah, a lot of the pack art, I think people were it was super medium. You know, you had the theoretical Snapcaster, but everything else was like, oh, this, it's cool, we've got this, but who really cares? And then, they saved all the heavy hitters off the packs except for Snapcaster, obviously.
Yeah, like the image that we have up is the box that they spoiled when they were talking about the Amonkhet stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, look at these sweet lands that you're going to get, and they were starting to hype that setup, and then they just kind of snuck it in. Oh, and here's the Modern Masters box, guys. Look, there's Domri in it. Yay.
The best planeswalker that ever unlocks.
Yeah, so we've got pretty much tonight's episode is going to be focused a lot on Modern Masters, and we're not going to do too much about like individual cards, if you will. We'll do a little bit of it, but it's there's everything's been spoiled. You guys can go look pretty much all over the internet now and see the entire list, because the set's coming out on the 17th. So we're about 2 weeks away from the actual release of the set, and it's being hyped as like, hey, if you can find it close to MSRP, you need to get a box of it because of the cards that are in it. Not only just from the reprints, but from like the aspect of drafting this set seems awesome with all the different archetypes and cool cards that they've put into it. So I'm really pumped for it. But
yeah, like there's so much mana fixing.
Yes.
So you can just play all the colors.
Yeah, and I think kind of to speak what you said, like the box is pre-ordered. I saw as low as 170. I heard definitely 180. I saw, and then now they're at 220 to 240, somewhere in that neighborhood. So, and that was yesterday. So it's potentially going to go up a little even higher than that.
What's MSRP? Is it 15 again?
I honestly I don't know personally, because nobody ever sells it at that.
yes.
Well, actually, the start play it does, so I'm trying to figure it out now. I don't know. I just think everybody jacks these prices up so much, but there's so much of a front run for this set, so it's not like they have to. I think they said it's going to be the most of any of the master sets by a good margin.
Okay. That makes sense. I was wondering how big of a print run they were going to have. If it's going to be like some of the other ones, or if it's going to be larger.
I don't think it's like a standard set, but it's a lot.
Yeah, I think that's actually the biggest thing, is people aren't sure about if they're going to do another wave or anything like that. So Yeah, and I think looking at this, MSRP is $10 a pack, so it would be 240, like you were saying.
It's $10 a pack. Okay.
Yeah, according to Wizards website. So
And I think that's what a lot of the boxes are going for right now. Some are pushing maybe 250. Like I know, like if you're looking at like Channel Fireball and Star City and some of the other places, they're actually starting to crop up a little bit more. But it's also their initial like, oh, this is the amount that we can sell for our pre-orders. We're now running out of stuff that we can sell for our pre-orders.
right.
So,
Well, and I unfortunately watched a video this morning in preparation of this, where the guy mentioned specifically that I guess a couple online retailers, I don't know of any, but they will cancel pre-orders because they found out the set was much better.
I really hate that. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also the danger too with just going on eBay and trying to pre-order initially. Because I did pre-order with local shop and I also pre-ordered with Channel Fireball. But a big reason I did was right before the spoilers came out for like the fetches, or even maybe it was like the day before spoilers were supposed to come out. Channel Fireball put a tweet out saying that if anybody had purchased cards that are going to get reprinted in Modern Masters 17, they will happily refund those cards for full price.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they put that out before any spoilers had come out and stuff like that. So, for example, like anybody had bought Lily or Snapcaster or one of the fetches within the last couple of days or something like that, hey, you can return that and get your money back, kind of thing. So,
yeah,
that's really
super cool.
interesting.
All right, so I know with Modern Masters they initially were like, hey, we're going to be focusing on Innistrad block and we're going to be focusing on the Return to Ravnica block. And I think that was another reason why a lot of people were not as hyped about it. I mean, the two big ones, like, yes, we're going to get Snapcaster, yes, we're going to get Liliana, because I think pretty much everyone realized that those would be the big ones that would get reprinted. But some of the other big reprints, like Damnation and stuff like that, that weren't in those blocks, I don't think anybody was expecting. A lot of people were hoping for, but I think that was a big thing. Like Fetches, Damnation, Goyf is back in it again for a third time, is a big, like, A+ Wizards, you went above and beyond for this set.
Yeah, I don't think they can print Goy for like the next Modern Masters set. If there's really so much of this one, like, I think it's probably not going to be the most expensive card in Modern anymore, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, and I think actually a lot of people didn't expect it to be in this model.
Yeah.
For that reason.
I kind of thought it wouldn't be, but like I don't have a problem with it being there. I own a set, but I also want people to be able to play the cards that they want to play. So like $40, $50 ghosts is kind of funny.
Yeah, the Modern Masters 2017 one, I was looking on MTG Goldfish, and it's around $90 on eBay.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, but like the older ones are going up in price, especially like the original printing of it was, I think, around $150 again. So I mean, we're seeing that tweak to it, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. As this always happens though when new sets come out with reprints of cards, is prices shift, and you can see it too with like stuff like Karn and Noble Hierarch and even Mistra's Bauble are going up in price because of the fact that they're not reprinted in Modern Masters.
Well, and the other thing that's really interesting about that to me is that the mythics in the sets, the supplemental sets, there's not actually a large influx of them into the market. So in the end, the price doesn't change much or goes up because it gets people more interested in Modern, but it doesn't actually put that many more of the card into the format, into the world rather.
Right. And
yeah,
it's an interesting thing too. Is like there are those like chase mythics, if you will, like with Tarmogoyf and stuff like that. But there's so much value amongst the rares now, with Damnation in there, with the fetches in there, that you can easily make your money back on a box if you get some good pulls, or even if you get like, oh, I just got a sweet foil off of one of the rares and stuff like that. So
that was the problem with Modern Masters 2. Like, you buy your box and it have like 2 mythics in it or whatever, and they were almost always sweet, unless you got Comet Storm, in which case you cried. And and then you just got like a bunch of junk rares and like
Yeah.
ticket rares. It felt so bad.
Oh, that was the original Modern Masters as well. There was
Yeah.
no greater feeling than getting a Jugan or a Raise, and it was like, oh, sweet, this could have been a Tarmogoyf.
Just what I needed.
Like, I think the mythics for Modern Masters 2 were either incredible or just like the worst ever. The Modern Masters 1 at least had a couple bad ones, so it's not like I had the 1 out of 21 mythics that was this bad. That's so sad.
Yeah. Well, and I think Nan brought up a good point about the fetch lands actually being important, because a lot of people, again, they get hyped over the mythics, and the mythics are splashy, and Grizzlebrand is awesome, and everybody wants to bonfire their opponent in limited. But like, the thing is the rares are really where the value is, like, because you're going to see them more often. So even if fetch lands drop to half, they're like $30 or $40 a piece now. You're still looking at a $30 pack for an MSRP of $10. So even if you get 2 awful rares in the other packs, you're still you break even, plus maybe a foil that's cool or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's good to have rares that are good.
Yeah. Well, and I think the Death Shadow reprint is interesting, because I know we were specifically talking about that in our shop with how it's a little too behind for WotC to do it, but I guess they thought it was good enough to reprint anyway, and now it's just like super awesome. Yeah.
Well, I'm happy. I traded like 2 Death Shadows probably 2 weeks before they spiked for the last one. So I was really sad about that, because I wanted to play the Death Shadow decks. They look really cool, but $30 or $40 for my Death Shadow is just not going to happen. So I'm happy they're reprinting that. Especially with like the new Death Shadow version being a lot slower. It's not just kind of mindless aggro. It's kind of a mid-range deck.
Yeah.
Right.
Not as much evasion with it and stuff like that.
You just play so much discard.
All right, so before we get into like limited talk and drafting and all that kind of stuff, there are some interesting, some cool, maybe some not so cool, depending on your opinion of it, new art for some of these cards. So if you had to pick maybe like your favorite new art for a card, or one that really stands out to you from some of these, what would it be? Now, I personally am a big fan of that new Serum Visions. The art for it, the flavor text, A+. But then again, I mean, if you can see the picture that I've chosen for myself for tonight, it kind of fits nicely with this whole Phyrexian aspect of it.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet new art for sure. And I haven't got a chance to read the flavor text.
So I guess the art switch I'm happiest about is Snapcaster Mage.
Okay.
Not because I like the art, but I think the art's like kind of terrible. So I'm happy that the new art is bad, so that old Snapcaster Mages are still cool.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood for a second, and I thought Brandon and I were gonna have to fight through.
So I like Snapcaster Mage. So I just like it when they give new cards bad art. So if you have the old one, same thing with Dark Confidant. I love the change. I hate the art. Like Bob arts just look better.
Yeah, and actually, see, for me, I know Nan brought that up. Like, I always feel like it's such a slight to the players, and I get it. Like, they've done it to everyone now. Yeah, but one of the coolest things in the world was the invitational cards, and that their likeness was on it. And these guys had to beat 15 other top players of the world at the time to get their art on this card and help make the card. And then they just kind of get rid of it. I mean, I'm a bit of an older curmudgeon, and I get it, whatever. But I don't know. I guess I feel bad, because it's really sweet art of each person on the card, and now it's not. Even Ranger Vios is another example. Actually, that was an invitational card that just got new art.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought of that.
I think for me, my favorite new art, it's either actually going to be the Ranger Vios, in spite of everything I just said, but it might actually be Past in Flames. Like, I don't really know what's going on in that art. There's like a evil, she might be 80-year-old woman, she might only be 20, I don't know, but she's got something going on that's sinister. So I think it's pretty rad.
Nice. And Brett, we have heard nothing from you except
it's so hard to talk with 3 other people. I thought it was tough with Nan, but good night with the 3 of you guys with all the knowledge.
Assert your dominance.
Yeah.
Assert my dominance. Yeah. No, I mean, I think I think my favorite art that stands out to me is probably either the Goblin Guide or the Stony Silence.
I like the
Um,
Sony's.
I really like
yeah,
Silent Silence.
the Stony Silence is like sweet. Like it is everything I want in a white
Like,
card. You
Like,
know?
it's like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're fine.
I was gonna say it's like I don't know. You know, these artifacts were doing all kinds of nasty. I think it's like a big golem before, and so like this big destructive golem just turns into like peaceful rocks.
Yeah, he just looks so
It's really good.
serene.
Yeah.
And there's some kind of red like rune almost in the clouds there, like some kind of weird symbol. I might just be looking at the clouds, but
Yo, hold up. Let me take a look at this.
So the whole point of having this like video version of it is so I could actually pull the images and put them up on screen. But I've been so focused on just looking at the cards, I haven't put any of the cards up on screen. So.
now you've done it. Now you've done it.
I know. Let me start pulling some of these cards up.
To speak to Brett's second point, like I agree on the Goblin Guide, and I kind of forgot. As a general rule, like I said, I'm an old curmudgeon. I don't like new art. There's something about the feels that the old art provides that I prefer. But the Goblin Guide actually reminds me of the Urza's era art a little bit. But there's still something new about it. So, you know, I do like that they kept the flavor text for it, because that was pretty sweet flavor text. Goblins have awesome flavor text.
I mean, my thing with the Goblin Guide is, you know, I never played the card, you know, but now I kind of want to play the card just because of the art. It's just very fantasy-esque. You know, there's a lot of detail in what's going on. Like, if you just look at him as a goblin, like what he's wearing, what he has on him, there's just so much going on in this art that I like. So, good on Wizards.
So is that a Zendikari goblin, or is that like actually one of the old ones?
Well, I think it's supposed to be one of the ones from Zendikar, but it just the art feel reminds me of like the Urza's Goblin Matron in that kind of sharp, almost alien from the movie Alien-esque heads and stuff.
I agree with you. I'm just like wondering why.
Oh, I have no idea. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm not actually familiar with any of his other art off the top of my head either, though. So,
All right, let me pull up these other images that we were talking about, though. We were talking about this lovely Snapcaster mage. Actually, I was talking to my good buddy Jaime, for those that are familiar with him, and he is super hyped about this new art Snapcaster.
Sure.
Boo.
Exactly.
Boo,
But I'm you know what? I'm all for it. You can buy all those, and we'll keep the regular ones, and it'll be great. So, but I mean, it's also to help other people that don't have the Snapcasters, and they're like, okay, the Snapcasters are a little bit cheaper, and these ones are going to be cheaper probably than the original Innistrad ones, so they're going to be able to get picked up
I
by
don't
more
know.
players.
They aren't mythic.
They are mythic, yeah.
Like, there's not going to be that much more of them.
right.
Or Innistrad ones.
And I think that's a common misconception though that a lot of people have, that I'm gonna be able to get my Snapcasters cheap now. No, probably not really. You're gonna probably pay close to the same, maybe a little bit less at the onset, but you know, in the end, you know, you're talking about, I could be wrong about this. I think it's 1 every 8 packs is a mythic. You're talking about 2 to 2.5 a box is what they were saying. And if you're looking at the fact that you have 10 mythics here, or no, it's more than that because I'm missing the lands, right? And multicolored.
Yeah.
There are some number of mythics, 15 maybe. So we'll go with 15. That number might not be right, but it looks like 15. So if you're looking at 15 mythics, quick math, what is that? It's represented 1 in every 120 packs, in theory. Which the breakdown is close to 5 boxes. Close to 5 boxes in order to see every mythic, if we're not including foils and just basic print run math. But and that might be wrong. I didn't prepare that at all. So if it's wrong, don't kill me
on it. It's
cool. Don't. It's on the internet now it's forever. So
It is forever.
but yeah, I mean, so if you think about it that way, like, you know, every 5 boxes 1 mythic is represented, like it's really not a lot of cards being put out into circulation.
So we did get a reprint of a card that has needed a reprint for a while with some new art, and that's that Might of Old Corrosa, though. Have you guys had a chance to look at that new art for that one?
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. It was also like a $10 card, right, or something, $8 to $10, something nuts like that.
Yeah, it was.
For a giant growth.
Yeah, I totally needed it. I don't know. I thought they were gonna go infect this time because they wanted to last time but couldn't, and reprint Inkmoth. I thought it was gonna be in the set, but not the way it is, I guess. But I don't know. It's so sweet, like good reprint.
Yeah, that was sweet.
I do have a question for Brett though.
That's me.
So, your favorite card in Modern is in Modern Masters 2017.
That's true.
So, are you happy, sad, or indifferent that there was no new art for Path to Exile?
So I go back and forth because if I had to pick an art for Path to Exile, it's the art that I don't have. I love Todd Lockwood's art; it's great. But that what was it? FNM? Was it FNM or was it a judge? The Traveler art.
Yes, the like opens the portal and you see him standing there.
Oh,
yeah.
Actually, I think that was a WPN or like a.
Let me pull it up.
For the first promo, yeah, because it's got 2 promos, right?
Yeah, that's I might be thinking of the WPN or whatever it's called, not Arena. Arena.
I mean, I love Todd Lockwood's art, but if we're gonna do some new art for cards, I would have liked to have seen another Path to Exile art. But with Stony Silence, Goblin Guide, Might of Old Krosa, I mean, these are cards that I think probably, well, Stony Silence probably didn't need it. Snapcaster definitely didn't need it.
Oh, I see. Yeah. The one you're talking about, Brett, is the FNM promo. Where
The FNM promo,
going through a portal. The one I actually like a lot is Rebecca Guy. And
oh yeah,
it's the like falling asleep and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I like.
I think they're all actually pretty sweet arts, which you can't really say about many cards. That
True.
they're all sweet arts.
What about Inquisition? You guys like that one?
So that was the art from Conspiracy, right? When they reprinted that with the new art first, or was that
Oh, is
Eternal
it the same
Masters?
one? I think this is different, isn't it?
No, it's the same one as the last reprint, but I can't remember.
Yeah,
which,
Conspiracy.
was
Yeah,
it Conspiracy?
It's
Okay.
Conspiracy. Yeah.
But it was printed at like higher, wasn't it? Like not.
It was
yeah, it was a rare.
Yeah.
It was a rare.
Okay.
Which like really confused me at the time.
Which
Doesn't
Which
really-
is also really odd because like all the versions are the same price, despite that being a rare. Which I know you would say, well, you know, it's the same playability, but there are some cards like Lockset and Warhammer where there was a core set that it was rare, but it was originally uncommon to Mirrodin, and there's actually a decent price disparity between the two. So I find it interesting that the prices are about the same, except the foils are very different. So the original foil is quite a bit.
The original foil is always better. Like when you're pimping your deck, you want to use the originals.
Oh yeah. So a cycle of cards I'm pretty stoked about, and it's pretty funny to say out loud, but it's the Signets. I believe they only have one foil printing of each, and that's the original. They were reprinted in a couple of the Commander decks, but they were not foil. They were all just non-foil, and I could be wrong. I'll double check myself here now, but
Is
I think
this
that
all new art
only
for two? Well, for some of them.
Well, it's actually it's all new art in the sense of for the foiling. This is the art I believe that they used in the Commander 2011 and 2015, or excuse me, 2015. Yeah, but it's never had a foil version of it. And there was also this isn't one was in the dual deck that I'm looking at, but they've never had a foil of this version. So the people that like that version of the art finally get a foil. Plus, you get a second edition of the foil because those were actually getting pretty outrageous. I think it was 15 for the Demir Signet foil at one point.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Is It one's
like
pretty sweet looking though.
Yeah.
I didn't realize foil signets were that much. I should go see if I have any.
I might be wrong, but the Guild Pact is $6 as we speak. So
Yeah. Wow.
All right. So, any other thoughts about new art or anything?
Did we talk about Cavern?
Oh, I almost forgot about it.
I'd rather not. I had a foil that I never shipped.
Like a premier mythic from the set. We should probably talk about it. I don't know.
Also new art. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
what do you like? I mean, the art. What do you like about the art? I think it's weird. It's like 2 layers of hands.
So, when I first saw it, I mean, it definitely has kind of more of a Orzhov Demir feel to it.
Mhm.
And maybe that's like, oh, one of that kind of with that Ravnica feel kind of thing. But I was talking to Tim about this, and he's like, it doesn't look like a cavern. It looks like a sewer of souls.
Yeah, that's water.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
funny.
The water looks like hands. That's really interesting.
Yeah, or even like a catacomb, but definitely, yeah, definitely not really a cavern. I guess I don't know. Catacombs and caverns might be the same, but
Yeah.
a sewer of souls might be better.
Yeah. But I mean, like the old art was nice for it. But I guess if you're in that mindset of like Demir, Orzhov kind of spirit-esque and down that aspect, all right, it fits. But that's kind of stretching it, if you will.
Yeah, I actually really like this art now.
Brett, where's your thoughts on this cavern?
See, because I was in that massive group text,
Mm-hmm.
and I looked at it and I was like, no, I think it's fine. Like,
I don't see
you know,
this
I think
sewer.
yeah, we'll see. All right, so I'm gonna have the unpopular opinion in this particular podcast, and going forward, I'm gonna get a lot of unfollows. But I like seeing new art. You know what I mean? Like when you think of Snapcaster and when you think of Dark Confidant, or as they lovingly refer to as Bob. When I saw the new Dark Confidant, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That's some neat art. But I didn't play Dark Confidant when it came out. I started in Dark Ascension, and even then I didn't have the view of Magic that I had before. So when I see new art, I get excited because I'm like, yeah, I want to play that instead. So like, if I ever got Dark Confidants, I'm gonna get the Modern Masters ones. I'm not gonna try and get the original, because that art just doesn't really stand out to me like it would for Eminem, right?
Right.
Like, he loves the original Bob art, and I think Brandon also mentioned, or Mutarin also mentioned, that he liked the art as well, over the Dark Confidant and Modern Masters. But I would probably play the Modern Masters over that. So Cavern of Souls, I'm all for it.
You like the Skrillex, Bob?
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't like Skrillex personally, but
Oh, you know him?
yeah, I do. Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, I like this one. Was there anything else, or did we get everything now?
No, I think those are the major ones. Oh, Terminate.
Oh, really? Terminate?
Yeah, have you seen the new art for Terminate?
Oh, it's because it's like, at least on Mythic Spoiler, it's in Japanese, I think.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they were initially spoiled that way. But yeah, I mean, I like the art for it.
Yeah, the art's pretty sweet. I mean, I think the Alara art was pretty doo-doo. I liked the original art, of course, naturally. But this art's definitely pretty sweet. I'm not 100% sure what's going on, but that thing is definitely getting terminated.
I think somebody actually found it out. It's like a cycle, right? And I think it starts with Sun Titan. So like, you have the Sun Titan, and then there's a card in between.
Oh.
The Sun Titan, and then this is the Sun Titan getting terminated. I saw it on Twitter a couple days ago. I'll see if I can pull that up real quick.
That's cool.
Old
seen a
R&D in their Easter eggs.
Yeah. There's also one like that in Innistrad. Like, original Innistrad had some angel. I can't remember which one it was. But then you see it again in Shadows. It's like corrupted. It's really interesting.
I do like that aspect of stuff. All right, I think that was kind of the only other art that really stood out that I think we needed to talk about, that I can think of off the top of my head at least. There might be some as we're discussing like the limited aspects of it, which I think that's a good way to just slide over into that aspect for maybe players that play like pre-releases but haven't really drafted these specialty sets before, like Eternal Masters or the other Modern Master sets, but maybe are now starting to get into Modern and want to try a draft of this. So we can talk a little bit about some of the different ways to play and whatnot. I am by no means a limited expert, and I am one of those, hey, if a new set comes out, I'm going to go to the pre-release, and I might draft the set once after it's come out, and that's probably it. I love doing cube, and I love drafting cubes, but I just don't draft enough to really have the skills to do limited very much. So I'm going to default to you more experienced drafters out there.
Well, I'll personally say that one thing before necessarily the technical aspect, something I didn't realize before, Mark Rosewater has talked a lot about how they consider Time Spiral a little bit of a failure as a block, even though it was one of the best selling at the time and definitely one of the most beloved. But the thing that he said is that there were so many mechanics, like 25 mechanics or something crazy like that, once all was said and done, including the new ones they introduced. One thing I didn't really notice until we just started this podcast are how many different mechanics are in this set. And it's crazy because Flashback, Overload, Miracle, Regen, if you consider that one.
Soulbound.
Spellbound, all kinds of stuff. It's chock full of goodies. And I think maybe they said, hey, that was really popular. Miracle was a pretty popular one. Unearth. Why don't we take the success of Time Spiral and maybe push it to a supplemental product aimed at more sophisticated players, for lack of a better term. It's definitely not for entry-level players. And we can kind of, recreate the same feeling that we had with Time Spiral, but maybe not push some of the newer player base out by doing it.
Yeah. Also, they made the mana so good, so it's like not going to be too punishing. If you want to play these individually cool cards, you can just pick them and play them all, probably. Like, there will be decks that are just 5 color, and it's easy.
Yeah, I mean, the signets are a big helper for that. We have the fetch lands in it, the guild gates are in it, and then the tri-lands.
Mana's good.
You also have, and they do a great job with these products because you have all the tappers, you have the token makers, some value creatures like Rocksworn Monk, Sprouting Thrynax, Woolly Thopter, that if you get the perfect mana, suddenly you just have a 5/4 on turn 3, and your opponent looks at you like,
Yeah, these sets are always more powerful than like a normal set, like a standard set. You just take all the best cards from all the limited environments from the years you're going with, and you just put them all in a set and see if it works. I think that's how they start. Like, I don't know how else they do it.
Yeah, I think to me, one of my favorite things in limited is blue-white blink or tempo, stuff like that. And this definitely has that. And you've got Resto, Vanish into Memory, Deputy of Acquittals as a trick, Miss Meadow Witch is one of my favorite cards ever, and it happens to be my favorite artist as well. Ranger of Eos exactly is a value creature, and it's just awesome because you have some great come to play effects like Augur of Bolus.
Yeah.
If you're greedy enough and you go Bant, you can hit that Thrag Tusk up with your Resto Angel if you really want some throwback to awesome times of Magic that everyone loved. But I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Ghostly Flicker, some kind of blue-white come into play effect, value, bounce deck. And if I crack a Tarmogoyf, then kudos to me.
And they have the like all the splicers for I think every color, right? Did they get? I know they had the white ones. We had the green one, the blue one.
Yeah, I believe it's all of them.
There's even like Seagate Oracle. That's really flickering.
And the Core Hookmaster, I love that card in the first place. Freaking flickering that guy.
You can just like putting Attended Knights in your deck. It's fine. Just make a 1/1.
I'm just getting even more excited just talking. Kraken Hatchling.
I was waiting to see if anyone was going to bring up Kraken Hatchling.
I love that guy. He's great against the aggro matchup.
Actually, I did see that Wall of Denial was reprinted in this set.
Oh yeah, that one's sweet too.
Man, in that blue-white deck, Tandem Lookout's just really good, right? A common?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you with a flyer. Also, I'm drawing a card.
It's it might be overdrafted, unfortunately, though, because it's definitely gonna be overdrafted by me.
Yeah, but I like that they have the token aspect in it. Like Intangible Virtue was reprinted in it, and then there's like you can have the Thragtusk that can make a token. They've got Call of the Herd there for some green tokens, and then we've got like the Splicers that are available. So like you can do different things. Guy's Anthem is also in this set, so you can give all your creatures +1/+1 as well from that. So there's some cool aspects if you want to go like the token route, or you can just go like the black-white because Lingering Souls was also printed. And
I want to populate a slime molding token.
You do have your Sunder and Growth to help you populate as well.
Yes.
So. I think another mechanic a lot of people probably didn't get to play with that's super fun and also very good is Conspire. And you have Giant Baiting, Aether Toe, and Wart Raid Mother is actually the big one to me. There might be another one I'm missing, but anytime you get to extra effect for basically maybe just tapping down 2 idiots that have been pacified or just aren't useful right now, is really, really sweet. And then Ward, of course, lets you basically copy any of your red or green spells as well.
I think if I open a wart, I'm just gonna slam her and we're going wart.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's 5 power and toughness for 6 mana, which isn't awful, but then it's just all upside from there.
Mm-hmm. It's just so fun, and like the story play, it's not super competitive, so I might as well just like have fun and try to draft a sweet Conspire deck.
I'm trying to find some sweet stuff you could do. You could Conspire Abrupt Decay, Conspire Advent of the Worm. That seems lame. Magma Jet. Yeah.
Terminate's worth it.
Terminate's red. You're right. But important to note to anyone listening, you can only do it once. When that first came out, everyone thought, "Oh, I'm going to tap 6 creatures and copy it 3 times." You can only do it once.
You can also just put Gorklan Rampager in your deck.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see about some of the other cool different stuff that you can do. Like I noticed that they had some of the reprint for Storm essentially with like Pyromancer's Ascension and Past in Flames and stuff like that, but I didn't see too much stuff that was like there's no Grape Shot or anything like that was you can storm into this, but
well, that is because there is none, unfortunately, and Wizards hates Storm.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Ascension's in this set. I'm like really surprised.
I think that was one of those value printings.
I guess, but were they like worried the set wouldn't have enough value in it?
Well, no, I meant more for like, hey, there's this random $10 card, bring down the price on. Why not?
Yeah, I just mean there's a lot of cards you could pick to do that with. It's just weird. It's weird that they would print this card since they hate it so much.
Agreed. I think the weirdest thing to me is actually Damping Matrix. The 3 mana cost artifact that turns off all other activated abilities that aren't mana abilities, so in artifacts. I don't really know. I've never heard anyone say, you know what really needs to be reprinted? Damping Matrix.
It's because it's so fun! I am also confused.
But you have that every set, like you said, that are bumped in rarity, that are awesome at the rarity that they're at. But like Sky Knight Legionnaire was originally uncommon, I believe. Sidraxis Spectre. So sometimes they get it right, but I think sometimes they want to keep you guessing.
One interesting thing is for rarity shifts. This is like relevant to Pauper. Burning Tree Emissary is a common now.
Oh yeah.
Didn't realize that.
Yeah. I haven't been playing too much Pauper lately, but I kind of want to start playing more. So this might be relevant for me.
Yeah, and I think Pauper is unfortunately one of the formats that probably goes under the radar most when you start talking about new cards and the rarity shifts, like you said. I mean, for something like this, a rarity shift is the only way to make a difference, but it's still sweet,
Yeah, there's usually, like, when they do these, this is actually one of the more interesting times, because Nibble Mongoose wasn't legal until Eternal Masters, so they usually throw a couple commons into Pauper.
They also did, like, one of the Whale or the Palinchron effects, right? They just shifted it down to common.
Yeah, and then it had to get banned.
Yeah, people lost their minds.
That like, re-broke the format they fixed, like, literally 3 months ago.
Right,
It's kind of stupid. So, is there anything else here that you guys think is super limited or good for limited? I think Gift of Orzhova, I guess, is one that I'll point out. This card looks
Love it.
bad because it says enchantment right on it, like an aura, but it actually can just win the game. So don't completely scoff at it. It's, it's got lifelink right there and flying. Those are two very good keywords if you're trying to race.
And the foil of that card is beautiful.
It is very good. Specifically the foil, just because like the stained glass wings.
Here it is. Bam.
I think the removal seems a little light in this set to me. I've not scoured over it.
I mean, it seems that most of the removal are multicolor.
Yeah, there's quite a bit here.
I mean, we have Seal of Doom in here, which is cool.
That's to make our Tarmogoyf bigger.
Yeah, that is true.
So, like, Rampager is kind of a removal spell. If you're beating down, Rampager is effectively a really good removal spell, actually.
And like Mizium Mortars and stuff like that. They have Pyroclasm in here, but like since they did Terminate, Putrefy.
And I guess you have Sever, and Path to Exile. I guess I just missed it.
There's Augur Spree and Agony Warp at common.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no,
it was like a... Yeah, if you just missed those ones, yeah. Also, Coiling Oracle? Sweet.
Unflinching Courage is another one of those Gift of Orzhova cards too, where if you just don't get it, it's going to get out of control.
So I never played with Rock's Warmonk. Is it just like really insane?
Yeah, it's pretty insane. We actually played it like out of the sideboard, I believe, in 5.
Okay.
And he was just a house. If you can get him on 3, it's extremely good, obviously. But if any time in the game, he's usually pretty decent.
I would pay maybe even 5 mana for that limited. So.
Well, he's also flipping pancakes there. If you're
That's true.
paying close attention, so
wow.
he's quite the gentleman.
He's quite the gentleman.
Flips pancakes. He's a big old rhino.
Yep, Rhino flipping pancakes.
I guess that's why his life went.
But yeah, you pointed out Agony Warp earlier, and I can also touch on experience. That card is disgustingly good. It's
really strong.
Yeah, if you don't always get a 2-for-1, you're probably playing the card. Just in combat, it's gross.
It's good enough that it like sees a decent amount of playing Pauper. Like the blue-black decks will play it. This is an instant, so you can get it with your tutor spell. And
it's also common, so you can get multiple of them.
It's pretty nuts, actually, yeah.
Alright, so I noticed that there were a couple legendary creatures for this set. Like we have Wart that we were talking about a little bit earlier.
You got Niv Mizzet, Draco Genius.
Niv Mizzet's in there, Zur the Enchanter. So if you had, and like Obsidian, stuff like that, Olivia. So for a commander mindset, because I know Eminem, you do like commander quite a bit.
A wee bit.
Just, tad bit there. But if you had to look through the legendaries that are in this set and pick like one that you'd be like, hey, this is a extremely fun one to build around and play around, is it easy enough to pick, or is there too many at this point that you would enjoy to play with?
I'll say, and actually I was just thinking this when you said this. To me, Zur the Enchanter is actually a very lame commander at times, the way people play him. But he is a super fun commander, and I really want to see somebody build a Zur the Enchanter deck in Limited, because looking through some of these enchantments, like we'd said, the Gift of Orzhova, the Unflinching Courage, there are some heavy-hitting enchantments that you could actually get in Limited, where you might be able to make a real Zur deck in Limited. It's going to be one time out of 10 when you try and force draft it. But it could be pretty sweet if you get it.
That would be so sick.
But as far as that goes, I have a special place in my heart for. I think that he's pretty awesome. Obsidian is also a really great commander. Olivia, I've seen a lot of people do like tribal vampires, red black tribal vampires, and they're all pretty sweet. And Wart is just, as we said earlier, is a pretty awesome value card that the possibilities are endless. I was remiss to myself for not bringing up that someone could live the dream and actually Wart Raid Mother and then conspire a cruel ultimatum and limit it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That would be so amazing. 5 colors indeed.
Well, you'd actually only have to play 3 if you just play. If you look at Wart as a red.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, this is the deck that's going to play a lot of lands.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. All the
So you could do that in a 5-color deck. I think the Wart decks want to be 5-color. There's just so many good spells to copy. So if you have the mana to do it anyway, like the Conspire decks might just want to be in all the colors.
All the colors, and it's easy to go 5 colors with all this fixing that we got. So
yeah. Another sick Xur target is Soul Ransom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want someone to do it.
That would be so good.
But yeah, I mean, they're all pretty sweet. The most blasé to me is probably Niv Mizzet, but I actually play him in one of my commander decks. He's just not the commander.
Okay.
I think to me, he does the least. Olivia is just such a swingy bomb card in the first place, and Obsidian to me is great flavor. It is also extremely difficult to kill.
Yeah.
There's probably not a lot that kills it in the format other than like Terminate. Just has to be instant speed, or you just never kill that guy ever.
Well, if he were legal, I would say Gristlebrand.
Well, he is one of my favorite commanders that I can't ever play in Commander. So
Yeah. Feels bad sometimes.
All right. I can't think of anything else that we need because I don't want to, make our first episode be too long and too sucked into
I
things.
need to
But...
make a quick PSA. Vampire Nighthawk is a sadistic.
Oh yes, I'm so excited.
card.
So
If your
excited.
opponent plays it, be afraid.
that card is a beating.
It's just, you think like, oh, it's just a 2/3, whatever. No, it's much more.
All right. So to end tonight's episode, what is the card that you're most excited was reprinted in Modern Masters 2017? And I would have to say I'm most excited that Damnation was reprinted.
That's fair.
So, I mean, I already have a Damnation, but it's nice. Like, oh, okay, I can get some more Damnations now, And the card's sweet, and I want to see how it does in Limited. To just be like, nope, I'm in black. I'm just gonna wipe the board.
Maybe we should do most excited and least excited.
Oh. I like that. Oh.
So for me, most excited is actually probably going to be. I don't play the card, but it's probably Crater Hoof Behemoth because he's way too expensive, and people that want to play him in Commander, I think it was like $20 or $25, something crazy like that.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
So for me, it's that. I mean, a lot of these other cards are neat, but in terms of what I think I like the most is probably Crater Hoof.
Crater Hoof.
The card I want to play the most is probably Vampire Nighthawk.
Yeah.
I really like that card. The most excited that you're reprinted might be like Goblin Guide, just because I've been thinking about putting the burn deck together, but like 40, I can't remember what they were. They were like $40 or something for Goblin Guides.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I think there was even more than that. So the count was holding me back. Maybe I'll start thinking about it again though.
Okay.
Could also be Death Shadow though. I do want to play that deck.
For me, I think Blade Splicer is
Ah.
probably the one that I'm most excited about. And it purely from a collector's standpoint, Blade Splicer is one of those cards I've always wanted to have a playset of, and I don't know if it's been reprinted multiple times or not. I'd have to do a little research, but I am excited to see that it's in this set and that I'll be able to play it as well.
Yeah, Blade Splicer was a sweet card. You're absolutely right.
Another cool one's even Venser. Venser's really cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty expensive too.
Blood Moon, I'm not too thrilled about.
Whether they just banned it or like eliminated that set.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is that there's your check. Like, all right, now I can play 3, 4, 5 colors, but the potential is there. My opponent's gonna play Blood Moon.
Limited.
Yeah.
This is so rude.
Right?
Because you're not gonna play around it. There's no way you ever play around it.
Like, oh
You
yes,
can't.
look at all these gates that I've been past. This is sweet. I got the tricolor lands. Perfect. Oh my gosh, Blood Moon.
Somebody's gonna open a pack and there's gonna be like 3 really good, or like 2 of the tri-lands and a couple guild gates and like a fetch. They're gonna take the foil Blood Moon and they're just gonna have to play against those people.
Well, and absolutely too. That's the other funny thing. The value's there, right? So like, even if you, hey, it's probably going to be a $20-$25 card, maybe. The value's there to first pick it, and you just completely hose somebody, just trying to be greedy.
Especially if you don't show anyone in the draft, because you just pick it first. Nobody has any idea there's a Blood Moon. You're like, wow, look at my sweet 5-color deck, Mom. Like, okay, I have Blood Moon. You can also just board it in. That's also an option.
Actually, a funny quick story. The original Modern Masters, my first Pack 1 Pick 1 was a Path to Exile because, well, A, that's a really sweet card, but
I agree.
Blood Moon was my rare. And at the time, Blood Moon wasn't doing nearly as much as it is now. And I think it was a $10 card maybe. And it's whatever. I hate you, Blood Moon. What a terrible rare to get. I'm going to take this Path to Exile. And now, with the price tag, I was like, I should have stick in that Blood Moon.
Yeah. Like, so that's the question, is how much of the set they're gonna print? Like, is Blood Moon gonna go back to $10 at rare? Like, this is gonna be a lot.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really knows. They're super hush-hush, obviously, about that. I know you're positing, but I would be surprised. I think that they've done a limited print run, a second print run, I believe, on most of the Modern Masters. I could be mistaken about that, but I think that they have.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. Just from what I've heard, everyone's just saying they're printing a lot of it. So
Yeah.
I want to see how far they went. Like, are they just crashing some of these cards?
I mean, potentially, it definitely happens. And
Like in Treat, I think it's just. I guess it's a mythic, but I guess Terminus is one that'll probably fall quite a bit. If it's even worth anything. I don't know how much it's worth.
well, it was also reprinted in the From a Vault.
That's true.
Yeah. That's true.
I think the card I'm least excited to see, and I'll be honest with you, and Mutarin, you probably don't know this about me, but I'm sure Brett and Dan have heard this. Cyclonic Rift is probably one of my least favorite Magic cards ever printed, because there's no way that card should be legal in Commander, and every time I see it, it just reinforces the fact that card exists, and now more people are going to have it, and I hate it. I hate seeing it. There's nothing good about that card. It's terrible for Commander. And you should feel bad. If you play it, you should feel bad about yourself.
Oh.
Terrible. Now I feel bad.
Good.
So I was actually gonna say it's good they reprinted it because that card was like $7 or something. And
That
it's
is true. Yeah, that is true.
not at all necessary.
I just figure if it's more expensive, less people will play it.
You're right. It's like you're not wrong about that. I don't know. I don't mind it that much. I also play the card in my deck, so maybe that's why.
I think it depends on the player. If it's just, I've seen so many games that are won on the back that it's just so swingy, and I don't think a game that's going on for an hour and a half should be that swingy over one card. But we all play the game for different reasons, so
Yeah.
I'll step down off my Cyclonic Rift soapbox.
I don't know. I think it was hard for me to pick a card that I'm not that excited about or least excited about for it. But I have to say Grizzlebrand.
What? Grizzle Daddy?
And that's only because we saw him get printed up recently, and he was the promo for the GP last year. So there's like so many Grizzlebrands running around, and like I guess what other Black Mythic are you going to print in this set when you're going back to Innistrad? They kind of had to, I guess.
Tree of Perdition. That would be such a slap.
Nailed it.
So I like, he's the only one that I'm like, I look at all the other mythics and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling pretty hype about pretty much everything. But Grizzlebrand, I'm just like, meh, okay, it's Grizzlebrand again.
Yeah, I guess it had to be black. But you could, like, they could have just done Batterskull instead. It would have been fine.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a black pest token, right?
Yeah.
Same
Exactly.
thing.
Same thing. Thank you.
I think, you could make a case for, like, if you want, you could at least do, like, Abyssal Persecutor, because that's a big dumb donkey, but it's playable and limited. If anyone actually hardcasts Grizzlebrand, you should probably just concede. A, because you're likely going to lose, because they hardcast Grizzlebrand and limited.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a flyer. You don't even need to look at anything else. Look at my 7/7 flyer with lifelink.
Right. And then again, you have...
They could have already shifted Damnation into Mythic.
Oh, do you know how many people would rage about that?
Oh, yeah, they would not be happy, but they could have.
They could have, yeah.
Mad. So mad.
Yeah, they finally reprinted it, but in Mythic. Maybe if it had actually been reprinted in, like, Annihilation and stuff, they would be able to do it at Mythic, but... How much is it right now? It was like $90 or something.
Yeah, I think it was 90 to 100. Something absurd like that.
Oh, well, whatever.
Well, the crazy thing about that, too, is I try to remember this, and I know a lot of players don't have any concept, that they used to give those away for showing up to 20 tournaments. If you played at 20 FNMs, you got a promo, full art Damnation, and Cryptic Commander. So, and so to see it at $100, I'm just, you guys gave this away.
Well, what about the Emrakul's of that pre-release, right? Like,
oh yeah,
I remember people, or I don't remember this. Some people have told me about, like, people at the store just throwing their Emrakul's into the trash because they're like, this is bad. Like, whoa.
Yeah, absolutely. It was that, and a Johnny Vengeance, actually. The crazy thing about that card is, as high as it is in price, it was actually the pre-release and the release card for that set.
And it's in a dual deck.
Yes, it's the only card I believe that they've done. It was really bizarre.
I'm like impressed at its price now.
Yeah.
That's like, it doesn't even seem like it's played that much. Anyway, man, now that we've finished our long tangent.
That's how it goes. That's right. We never end when we want to. That's kind of the theme of things. We always gotta let it
Stretch
go.
it out for 10 minutes.
Exactly. Then real quick before we, leave and say goodnight for everybody, give some shout outs, all that kind of good stuff. Just go around the table, kind of do stuff like that. So Brett, we're gonna start with you because you're the quietest.
Yo, I mean, this has been a long time coming. I think 2017 is hashtag build the brand for Modern Magic Mondays. So first off, I want to thank Mutarin and Real M&M for kind of hopping in the team and going on this journey with Dan and I, because this is exactly the kind of stuff that I want to do. Like, I just want to flood the internet with this content, with our brand, because there's so much knowledge just sitting here at in these 4 seats, or I'm gonna say 3 seats. I'm gonna exclude myself because I feel like I'm the newest one out of the bunch, but
I'm also actually standing, so
oh, okay, good point. There you go. But I mean, thank you guys, and thank everyone that's listening. If you're in chat right now, thank you so much for lurking, hanging out with us. I mean, this is definitely, I'm super stoked about the future. So,
good stuff. All right, Eminem, how about you, sir?
You can follow me at Real M&M on Twitter. That's EM and EM. It's just look somewhere, you'll find it. It's a pain, but big shout out to Brett, Nan, and Mutarin for making this happen. It's something I've kind of wanted to do, but nobody really wants to be the one to facilitate it. It takes the most work to get the ball rolling, and they did. So it's definitely easy to piggyback off of that. And check out the Modern Magic Monday streams on Monday night. And Brett also has a sick fantasy gaming channel that you can find me lurking, trolling, giving out silver points, all kinds of stuff there. So check that out as well.
All
I
right.
want to give out the silver point.
Mutarn, what about you?
Pretty much just follow me on Twitter if you want. I don't really do as much as I used to. Used to be a busybody, but no, not anymore. I tweet
got
every
tired.
now, and now I've got like this in a stream. So I'll always tweet when I'm ever going to do something. So it's just at Mutarn, Muataran. Yeah, I don't know. If you have any questions, you can just message me there. I'll respond eventually, I guess.
Good stuff. So, guys, you can see if you're watching it from the actual video portion, all of our Twitters are down
Yeah,
below
you're
us.
kind of robot.
Yeah, you broke off all there.
I'm robot.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me unrobot myself.
I was like, I hope it's not just me and I'm interrupting him. What he's saying.
God, you're so rude.
All right. Less robot-y?
Not really.
Not really.
All right. Right at the end, too. All right. Brett, you do sign-outs.
Oh, thank you guys so much.
You're also robotic. All right.
Again,
This is okay. I'll just do it
perfect.
because neither of you guys currently can. So this was in response to we do podcasts now. So if you would like to follow us, the at Modern Magic Mondays on Twitter is where you can do that. Check out the stream on Mondays, which I think was pretty easy to figure out from the name. And yeah, thanks for stopping in.